Tom Aspinall isn't just calling fights, he's calling shots. From backing fellow Brits to eyeing Jon Jones' throne, the UFC interim heavyweight champ is making bold predictions and even bolder claims. Here's what he had to say about the biggest matchups on the horizon. Tom Aspinall recently shared his take on several high-profile UFC matchups, offering predictions that reflect both his analytical insight and support for fellow UK fighters. When asked about a potential champion versus champion showdown between lightweight king Islam Makhachev and featherweight titleholder Ilia Topuria, Aspinall acknowledged the explosiveness and danger that Topuria brings to the table. However, he ultimately leaned toward Makhachev, citing the Dagestani's dominant grappling, fight IQ, and championship experience as key factors that would give him the edge in a closely contested bout. Moving on to UFC 314, Aspinall backed former featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski to bounce back and reclaim his title against rising contender Diego Lopes. Despite Lopes' momentum and dangerous finishing ability, Aspinall showed faith in Volkanovski's veteran savvy, durability, and well-roundedness. He also threw his support behind two of his countrymen, Paddy Pimblett and Lerone Murphy. Aspinall predicted that Pimblett would emerge victorious against veteran powerhouse Michael Chandler, a matchup that many see as a major step up in competition for the Paddy. Aspinall praised Pimblett's skill set and potential to rise to the occasion. As for Lerone Murphy, he picked him to defeat Josh Emmett at UFC Vegas 105, seeing the Brit as a surging featherweight with the tools to overcome Emmett's power and experience. Finally, Aspinall predicted that Belal Muhammad would get the better of Jack Della Maddalena at UFC 315. He likely sees Muhammad's grinding style, cardio, and consistent pressure as the keys to shutting down the striking-heavy approach of the Australian prospect. Tom Aspinall continues to push for a long-anticipated heavyweight title unification bout with reigning UFC champion Jon Jones. After capturing the interim heavyweight title in 2023, Aspinall cemented his status as the division's top contender with a sensational first-round knockout over Curtis Blades at UFC 304. The performance showcased Aspinall's elite athleticism, speed, and finishing ability, further fueling calls for a showdown with Jones. Despite the momentum behind Aspinall, Jon Jones opted to face former champ Stipe Miocic at UFC 309 instead. The decision was met with mixed reactions, especially as Aspinall had already solidified himself as the clear next-in-line contender. While some fans viewed Jones vs. Miocic as a legacy bout, others criticized it for delaying the more competitive matchup between Jones and Aspinall. In the meantime, UFC President Dana White has confirmed that a fight between Aspinall and Jones is still very much in the works and is expected to happen later this year. Aspinall has remained patient yet vocal, expressing both his respect for Jones' accomplishments and his eagerness to test himself against the GOAT-level champion. For Aspinall, the matchup isn't just about unifying the titles, it's about proving he belongs at the very top and ushering in a new era in the heavyweight division. Tom Aspinall has never been short on humility, but when it comes to his skill set, he's clearly confident, and for good reason. During a recent interview on the Ariel Helwani show, Aspinall broke down what separates him from the rest of the heavyweight division. He praised Jon Jones' legendary status and acknowledged the greatness of his accomplishments, but made it clear that he believes his own unique attributes pose a serious threat to anyone in the division, including Jones himself. Aspinall pointed out that while most heavyweights rely heavily on size, strength, and knockout power, he brings something different to the table. He emphasized his speed, agility, and technical striking, along with a high fight IQ and strong grappling skills. These tools, he said, allow him to move like a middleweight in a division full of slower, more one-dimensional fighters. When specifically discussing a potential clash with Jon Jones, Aspinall didn't shy away from making a bold statement: "I'd be very surprised, and this sounds disrespectful, but I'd be very surprised if it got out of the first round." While some may interpret that as arrogance, it's more a reflection of the belief he has in his preparation, style, and ability to finish fights quickly and decisively. This mindset, combined with his track record of explosive finishes, is exactly what makes Aspinall one of the most exciting and dangerous fighters in the UFC today. He's not just gunning for a title, he's aiming to dominate.